The Competition Commission is continuing to pursue Covid-19 procurement cases. Remember all of the price fixing we saw. Now referring a third case to the Competition Tribunal for prosecution. It involves PPE equipment for the police. We're joined now by Siyabulela Makunga, spokesperson for the Competition Commission. Siyabulela, good afternoon to you and thank you for your time. As I understand it, the company involved here, they won a big contract. They had a markup of over 230% for sanitizer for the SAPS. That sounds like a pretty clear-cut case to me.
It's a pretty clear-cut case, Stephen. Good evening or good afternoon, and thank you for having us. And the Commission, our stance and a plea to the Competition Tribunal that this is a matter that should not even waste time on oral hearing of evidence. It could simply be determined by just exchanging papers between the legal representatives and all parties involved, that is ourselves being the applicant or referrer of the charges against Red Roses Africa, as well as the representative of Red Roses. So it's a clear-cut case, and we think that we should not waste time on hearing this matter on oral evidence.
Did this company put up any defense to you? Any explanation? 230%?
Look, as you are aware, Steve, that these are matters that would now have to be heard before the tribunal. But, of course, parties now have got the opportunity that within 20 days of us filing the affidavit, which we have done on the 17th of May, they can now submit to the tribunal a responding affidavit to our charges. We have had struggles, obviously, with soliciting information, but that obviously have now been concluded. Those stages have been wrapped up. We've got all the necessary information in terms of our request for information processes that are part of our investigations. So we are quite confident that we've got a case that we can pursue before the tribunal. And really, as we have indicated earlier, we think that this matter could simply be determined by just providing the readily available evidence that we've been able to gather as a commission.
This was the South African Police Service. This was the client. And we must remember the time. This was, I think, March 2020, just ahead of lockdowns. The police, of course, needed a huge amount of sanitizer and face masks. Was it just someone taking advantage of the police at that moment? Well, Siyabulela, I mean, why did the SAPS agree to this? Could there have been some other motive?
Well, without really speaking on behalf of the SAPS, but our understanding is that one of the reasons why they brought this matter to the Competition Commission, was that they had never dealt with these kind of services being provided at a magnitude that it was required. You would remember that the SAPS was on the front line of combating the spread of COVID-19, so they needed masks, they needed sanitizers, and all other PPEs. So it was important that they have these PPEs, but what was really of interest to them was the varying prices that they could get from the market. There were huge margins from the lowest to the highest bidder, and they had contracted about 4 companies, and Red Roses was one of them. But they did not have any prior or historical information or evidence that they could benchmark this on. And I think at the time, there were no quotas that were issued by the Treasury Department in terms of guiding the buyers from different public procurement entities to say these are the benchmark prices that they should be looking at. So you could really imagine the kind of difficulties that they had, but they needed the Commission to at least determine in terms of the Act, Section 8(1)(a) of the Competition Act, which deals with excessive pricing, whether or not these suppliers did not charge them excessive prices. And I think with the 2 cases that have been concluded, it has been proven that indeed their suspicion was correct, or the allegations held water, and the Commission, obviously, based on its investigation, they found that there was a case to answer. And with the 2 others, we have already been prosecuted by the tribunal. They've been fined up to 3.4% and 3.5% respectively on all the charges that were laid against them of charging the SAPS excessively.
Siyabulela Makunga, thank you. Spokesperson for the Competition Commission.